Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif. And Becca's still not here. Sorry. He's almost. We're almost, okay?
Almost. Hopefully.
Y'all
next
should love
week.
this. It's been like 2 weeks since you've seen us. Right? 3? When was the last time we recorded one?
2 weeks.
2
ago.
weeks. Yeah,
weeks.
because
Yeah.
1 week Chicken
I
was
was
sick,
out.
and then 1 week Oak was out on vacation, vacation.
Basically.
So,
Out and about doing his thing.
and we can make Oak jealous. Guess what? We got to hear Baka's voice for the first time in like a month last night. Yay!
What?
Yeah.
Yep, and he agreed with me. It's so nice to have someone in chat that agrees with me. Oh,
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
it was so good. Newbie and Griff started talking about something. I disagreed with them, and they were both hounding me. And then Baka jumps in. He's like, "Yeah, I agree with Chicken." I'm like, 2-2. Life is good. It's not
And
a
all
2v1
is right with the
anymore.
world again.
Exactly.
I miss Baka. Sad. It's not the same. Like, I get that he's still around and we get to talk to him via text chat and whatnot, but it's not the same.
It's not the
It's not
same.
the same.
It's not the same.
So,
It's like living in the Stone Age or something.
so he'll be back soon, I hope. He's putting together a desk, like right now, actually, as we speak. He is building his desk for his new stuff and all of that, so hopefully that means that maybe next week, but I don't know that for sure, so don't...
Hopefully next week we'll try to stay on him.
Yeah, we'll try to make that happen next week, but he's probably going to come back and we'll be like, did you miss us? And he'll be like, no. Not at
He's
all.
going to get jealous too, by the way. I've got a surprise for everybody.
Oh.
And I did it just for him.
Wait, so why...
You see it, you'll understand. When you
Okay.
see it, you'll understand.
Okay. I'll take your word for it then, because
Promise.
I have
It's-
no
it's-
idea.
It's right here. I debated whether to show y'all before the show or not, but I'm not going to. We're good. I rode back from Seattle and I'm excited.
Okay. So is
Keep a
that
straight
mean
face
you're gonna
whenever it pops up.
hold on to it until next time we see Baka, or...
No.
Okay.
Because if you thought he would listen to me with the green hair for Chia,
Oh, Lord.
I found something that I know he'll definitely listen to me on.
Is it a Ninja Turtle outfit?
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Damn.
Ooh. That was the ace in the hole for 100%.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know.
Are you
Yeah.
sure about that?
'Cause there's nothing above TMNT in his list.
Oh, that is true.
So-
You ready? Here we
Okay.
Straight
Okay.
face.
go. Akatulu head.
Oh, my God.
I like that it's got like a little crooked slot in it.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. I like its little wiggly legs.
Right?
Tentacles. That's so funny.
It
That's
serves
so
two purposes.
funny.
One, so he'll listen to me. Wow, it just pulled the earphones out. One, so he'll listen to me, and two, because when I'm doing CFDs, if there's a Kraken attack, I have to put it on my head.
I'm gonna try to make that the thumbnail for the show this week. I'm so excited about that.
First thing
part.
people are going to see is like, what the fuck is that on his face? Is that his new face?
Is that his
The
new
answer is
face?
no. It's his temporary face.
I thought it was good. It was a fun trip to
That's
Seattle and
awesome.
everything. We had, I got this. I showed you all ahead of time, which this is now my holder, by the way, for my glasses.
Okay.
So I got my new
Hey, it
glasses.
looks just like you. You're both
right.
bald.
Hold on.
Feel like twins.
Oh,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
loud. I'm sorry. Regrets were made. Look, I can put both of them on there.
There we go.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
He needs a little like.
Like a movable. Well, he needs a movable jaw though, so you guys can talk to
that's
each
true.
other.
That's true.
Or they could just both be quiet forever.
Ah!
Oh, wow, savage.
Damn.
Fuck.
I had to get a
Damn.
shot in right there at the beginning so we can
Damn.
move on.
It was a fun trip though. Got to, of course, meet Johnny. Those that have kept up with that one, who's been a longtime friend of the show, and part of the inspiration for the starting of the show too. And I got him some stuff from our local area, which Griff will remember this. It was never mentioned on the show, but if you ever listen to the very first show that he's part of, it was actually about 4 hours of recorded material, and that she had to cut down to an hour and 45 minutes. I think it's ridiculously long. But it was just us hanging out on Skype and everything else. Well, one of the things here in our local area, because we are in Alabama, is the term roll tide, which is used for everything. And he just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I still find that hilarious.
So I found him a shirt that just says roll tide across the front of it. But I felt bad because the rest of Eurogamer, we use Eurogamer for a lot of our news because they're an awesome site. It's just about fucking gaming. We don't have to worry about
We don't have to
what
wait
TV
through all
show
of
is
the
coming out.
entertainment news.
And the video crew that they have there is really, really awesome. And so I went ahead and got Ian a shirt as well, which just has Alabama written across the front of it. And then I got Bendix, which is, she's new to the crew, but she's very athletic. So I made sure I got her water bottle that had the elephant's face on it and stuff from our local area and stuff on it too. And then the exact same pattern I found on a, it's basically a coin purse, like a large coin purse. The same patterns on it, but when you flip it around, it's got our script A for the University of Alabama. And I gave that to Aoife because that's what her name starts with at A, and everybody knows she's in charge. So, so I gave him that. But temporarily, for now, while it still exists, if you've ever watched any of their videos on their video stuff, in the background they have shelving.
Yeah.
And they have stuff that people have given them. If you look to the very left, about midway down, there is a big owl with the script A on it that is sitting on their shelf. So
Nice.
he said they're about to phase that out, but he wanted to make sure he got it in there as quick as he did. So he got it in there as fast as he did. And actually, he and Bendix just did a late to the party, and it's on there. That was pretty awesome.
Nice.
And then walking around and talking to him about different opinions on games. It's really awesome to find somebody else that knows games as well as we do. And maybe better in some ways because he knows some of the developers. So that was pretty awesome to do. But yeah, it was a great trip, and I'll talk about the game stuff here in a little bit when we get to that point. But I just wanted to say that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Meeting somebody
I'm
we
a
love
little
so
jealous,
much.
a little sad, a little sad. I'll meet you one day, Johnny.
I did have a beer. Did have a beer with him. A couple, actually. So he was working the entire time. I promise he really was working. If Eurogamer's listening in any way whatsoever, he was really working. Because he'd be like, I got to go write this. I got to go write this. So.
I've got to go make a video on a game that I'm going to instantly sell to Grif because, you know, the Goose Game.
Yes, the Untitled Goose Game.
The Untitled Goose Game. It doesn't even have a name, but you get to be a goose and honk at people.
Honk at people.
It's awesome. And the video for it is perfect. Because you're
hilarious.
It's just the honk. Everything about it is great. And
I think my favorite part of that video, and I know I would be the same way, is you're supposed to have this list of tasks that you have to do in the game, and you're a goose, so you have to do it in a goosey way. But one of the things that he was supposed to do in the video was get the gardener wet, and so there was like a little sprinkler system, and at one point he got upset because the gardener kept taking away all of the stuff he was trying to steal for his picnic. So he's like, oh, I'll go do this part and get him wet. So he walks outside, turns on the sprinkler like the water faucet thing, and waits. And as he's waiting, like, Johnny is playing and just like does this very brief maniacal laugh of like he's just laying in wait as his goosey evil, you know, genius over here.
yeah, because there's a stealth mode. Like you can basically the goose just ducks.
Yeah.
Like it just
Oh
it
my
just kind of
goodness.
goes forward. Stealth
And
goose.
he just sat there waiting until the gardener came by and got wet. He's like, yes. I'm like, yes. I want to be an evil goose too.
My favorite part of it was that he was doing all this stuff, and he knows he has to set up a picnic because it's there, and he keeps putting all the stuff together and gets mad because the gardener keeps taking it, and then finally
Realizes
someone kind of gives him a hint, and he goes over to one side, and there's this big picnic blanket.
that he was supposed to be putting it all on.
Put
Yeah, but
it
I mean,
all
like,
on.
does that safeguard it from the gardener's sight? He
Yeah, I think
can't
so.
see
I mean,
the blanket.
that was a pretty good ways away. I would say so. Yeah.
That
but
game is
it's
gonna be
funny.
fun one day when it finally comes out. I want to.
Yeah,
be,
I think it's pretty close to release based on what we were playing.
I want to be a goose.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Finally, I found a game that I'm like super gung ho about buying for the Switch.
Right?
Finally.
Finally,
I don't necessarily like the actual Nintendo stuff, but you sold me on a goose.
right? I mean, like, I appreciate the Switch. We've been playing Overcooked still, which is a lot of fun. But all the other stuff, like the Mario and Zelda and whatnot, it's like, meh, okay, it's not really my cup of tea. I'm gonna be a goose while I lay in bed. Okay, that's where we're at. All right, I'm good. Good.
You gonna
Thanks,
enjoy
Nintendo. Sorry.
No problem. So, what games has everybody been playing? We've
For
had
like the
2 weeks
past
worth
2
of games.
weeks.
Yeah. I know WoW is on the list.
Yep, WoW
did
and
some WoW
Overwatch
stuff.
are the two games that I've been playing.
Banished. Chicken let me try out Banished. I got to try that out, and
The Great Famine of Two.
Yeah, the Famine of Two. I've stayed away from it because Baka and Chicken always talk about it being super micromanagey, and I don't care for like a great deal of micromanagement in my gameplay. But it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. And yeah, I didn't understand. Chicken was sitting in here with me to help me figure out how to play it, because he's like, it's really different from like City Skylines and all the other city sims that you've played and whatnot. And I'm doing all this stuff, and he's like, we need a farm. And I was like, okay, we go into the winter of the second season with like no food, like because I hadn't made everything yet. I didn't know. And so
it was a
people
rough
just
starting
start
period.
Dying off. We had the Great Famine of Two, is what we call it, and like. I think only 4 people survived. It was like 4 or 6.
It was 6 people, 6 adults and 2 children, down from like 16 and 8.
Yeah.
We lost like 2/3 of our population during that
Yeah.
famine.
Yep. So I had to rebuild and recover from that, but nobody will forget the Great Famine of 2. I think
Yeah,
we're
we've
now
come
in
back
like year 8
pretty
or
heavily
something like
from
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got like 14 and 6
we've got,
kids, and
like,
it's
I didn't
coming
think
back.
that I would care about these people because they all have really ridiculous names. I mean, some of them are not so
London.
bad, but what?
Yolandan.
Yolandan was one of them. We had 2 kids born at the same time to different families named Libert and Libertha. It's like
They were destined to be together.
They
work
are
in
now.
the mine. They work in the mine together, I think.
no, it's not a mine.
No.
They work in the farm together. Or
Yeah,
no,
they
they're
work in the
fishermen.
farm.
They're both
Yes.
fishermen. That's what they do.
Yes.
But yeah, there are these couple of people that survived the initial famine, and now I'm like, oh no, they're getting so old. Like one of them is 60. Odessica is 60 years old now. I'm like, she's
Odessica.
gonna die. She's gonna die,
Yeah.
and then what? But she had a kid after the famine with the next door neighbor, and neither one of them will move in together, and they're just monopolizing 2 houses.
Controversy.
Yes, it is ridiculous because what was it? It's I can't remember his name.
Cedric.
Cedric and Odessica lived next door to each other. She had a kid while she was by herself, and
How
and
did
the
he
only
luck
single
out with
guy-
Cedric?
It's spelled funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's our chicken farmer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's been farming chickens for the last 11 years.
she had a kid while she was by herself, and he's the only other available single male in town. So she was seeing the next door neighbor, but they won't move in together.
Yeah,
Like
they like their
everybody else
personal
moves
space.
around and whatnot. No, they won't move in together. He's living alone in a house. It's like, I need that house. I need you to move in with her so that house can go to people that are gonna have babies, because you're like 58 now. Cedric, move in, commit to this woman already. So now I found myself way more invested than I thought I was gonna be for a city sim. I'm like,
It's a good game. I mean, it really is a good game. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, because I wasn't as skeptical as maybe Baka and Chicken were on whether you like it, but I was kind of close to where they were at, because I wasn't really sure if you would like that micromanagement part. But I'm glad that you've kind of adjusted to it and kind of go, yeah, okay, But
I like the people, and I didn't think I would, but I think that their stupid names help me like them more because I can easily identify them. One of them was named Crocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crocky.
Cartel.
Crocky, a player, man, though. Crocky, as soon as he hit 10 years old, moved in with a 28-year-old woman and had babies. Like, all right, then. Just
Props,
banished
bruh.
things. Like,
What? I mean, really?
So when we build the fucking church, a 13-year-old girl became the pastor.
the
Pastor.
cleric.
Yeah, the cleric. It's like, all right, I guess this little girl is.
The good
in
thing
tune.
is you have her for like 50 years as
Yeah, well,
that
then
cleric.
Odessica
She
said
got-
no to that and took the
Yeah.
job instead. So the little girl ended up being like a farmer instead.
That's a difference, right? We're going to be the cleric. Jessica's like, hell no, you're not. And she's
I'm
like, I'm
60,
so
I do
jaded,
what I
I'm going to go
want."
work in the fields now.
Yeah.
Watching them trade jobs though is interesting too, because you're like Cedric's been our chicken farmer for most of his life, but every once in a while I'm like, who's in the chicken thing? That's not Cedric. Oh, because he's a farmer right now for some reason, and then he'll go back to being it. Like, they just swap off jobs. It's weird, but it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. Odessica better
Awesome.
live forever. That's all.
No, that graveyard's calling her name.
I know.
Every year.
I know.
Maybe she'll be that one character that lives to be a 120.
I mean,
I don't
60,
think
I
so.
think, is still pushing it for the time that this is
In
set
mine,
in, I guess.
they're pushing up into their 80s.
Oh, so she's still got a while.
As long as you have a good variety of food, keep their places warm, and their happiness high and their health high, they can live for a while.
After the famine of 2, that whole village lived on nothing but cabbage for like 2 years.
Cabbages, so cabbages and chicken,
Yep.
forever.
Now they
What are we having
alternate
tonight?
between
Cabbages and
cabbage
chicken.
and wheat. That's what I grow. Cabbage, wheat. This year's cabbage, next year's wheat. And then they store it all, and they've got fish and venison and eggs and chicken. So
It would be interesting to have dinner. You know, like what are we having on Tuesday? Oh, well, we're having chicken and cabbage. Well, what are we having on Wednesday? Well, we're having curry chicken and cabbage.
that's what we were talking about when they were living on just the cabbage. It's like, okay, so today is fresh cabbage, tomorrow's cabbage soup, the next day is going to be roast cabbage, the next day is going to be like, how many things can you do with cabbage?
We're gonna have grilled cabbage tonight. How do you grill cabbage? I don't know. We're gonna make it happen though.
Yeah, I'm tired of cabbages, so we're gonna do something
smoked
different.
cabbage.
You just like stab the cabbage onto a stick and hold it over the fire for a little while. That's what it is. call this
Theoretically, the
toasted
inside
cabbage.
would cook really well.
The outside would be black.
Yeah. You just peel that off.
Like when your marshmallow catches on fire,
Yeah.
and so you shake it out, but you shake it out, it launches off the stick, busts somebody's window, and sets a house on fire.
Oh my god, I think you have a well for that already.
It's so wrong on so many levels.
But it's hilarious. Okay, I'm sorry.
is. It is.
What else have we played?
I played a lot. Just because we had the I was at PAX. I played Metro Exodus. I got to play through the demo on it after an hour and a half wait with 9 people in front of me because it was a 20-minut demo.
Good
10
job.
minutes of which was a fucking tutorial on a lot of shit you didn't have to use. But it was fun. The gameplay is very similar, so anybody that's played the Metro series so far, it feels like home in a lot of ways. It's very pretty. Like, it is so pretty. I'm like, oh, I love this world, this post-apocalyptic style of world. Very interested to see where I was at in the plot line based on the demo. And the crossbow I absolutely adore. Like, it is so nice to play with. But the controller the sensitivity was turned up extremely high. So it took a little bit to get used to, and you're like trying to aim. It's like, I'm like, damn it, stop it.
I
was like,
with
this
high
would be-
sensitivity. Is that weird?
Do I
play
know?
with high sensitivity.
I play,
too.
yeah.
Well, I've actually tuned mine down to medium because it's better to play with. Well, mouse and keyboard's better to play on medium.
Yeah, but with a
Right.
controller, I prefer the
Yeah.
super responsive, I guess.
It's just hard when you're sniping, like, to be that fast, because it wobbles a little bit. We played that, and then next to it was the new Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts 3, which was another 20-minute demo. There were 32 people in line. I counted them. I was not waiting in that line, and it was capped right by ours. Now, anybody that was interested in NBA 2K19, 2K19, whatever it is.
2K19.
Yeah, that one, no problem. They actually extended our line and made it to where it was because there were 4 guys that sat there for the entire hour and a half playing the fucking basketball game because they could. There was nobody wanting to play that game. I was like,
I mean, if you
GG
play one,
on
you
that one,
probably play them
Xbox.
all.
Nobody wants to play that. I mean, it's like this probably the same as last year's, or the same as the years before that.
Yeah,
or
I
the year
didn't
before that.
understand it. So those guys were playing it the whole time, and then, but Kingdom Hearts, the part of the Kingdom Hearts that was on there, they were actually in the Toy Story world. Oh, it was beautiful. It looked like it was right out of the actual movies. I'm not a big Toy Story fan, but it was still fun to watch, like the characters and everything. They even changed the appearance of Goofy, Donald, and was it Cloud? It's not Cloud.
No, it's
Sora.
shit. Sora, yeah, Sora.
Yeah, sorry. So all 3 of them look like they kind of belonged in the world a little bit. Like they look like themselves, but they changed the
It
graphics
changed their
a little
art
bit.
style a little bit.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I enjoyed seeing that. And then I played a game called Let It Die, which is currently out on PS4. In the next month or two, it's supposed to be out on Steam. Now, another friend of mine said that the lady told her it'll be free on Steam. If it is, I'm definitely picking it up. But I'm going to wait for it to hit Steam before I pick it up. And it is kind of a Resident Evil style game in the gameplay version of it. I don't know what the actual plot line is because literally one person would get done and they would hand you the controller. So my guy was like a level 15. Yeah, my guy was a level 15 and my friend was playing on a level 4. So, and she gave us a choice. She was like, do you want to start back from the beginning or do you want to... No, I was like, we do this. I can just figure out the gameplay. Some of the gameplay stuff was a little weird. That was on it. I went through the indie stuff because that's what I like to do is go through some of the indie stuff. But on the way there, we stopped by PAX 10, which is the 10 games they want everybody to look at for the year. And Gunhead was really cool. It's cel-shaded. I actually showed the video the other day.
That looks really good.
Gunhead, it looks gorgeous. It looks straight up like Borderlands. It was great. And then Overload, which is the same people that made Descent, which if you're old like me, you remember Descent 2, which came right after the Doom series, which is one of the first actual 3D games where Doom just looked 3D but really wasn't. This actually was a 3D game where you could move any direction where you're flying, and Overload has got that same feel to it, and it's by the same people, so I thought that was cool. And then I moseyed on over to the indie games, and when I got over there, the first thing I was confronted with was Meow Wars, which is a card game with cats and puns. That's all I had. That was it.
Puns, great.
It's free on your mobile device, or you could have played and beat the first boss, and they would have given you a Steam key, and they just gave me a Steam key because I talked to him long enough to where he gave me a Steam key. Otherwise, it's $5, which really isn't bad. Supposedly, there's microtransactions, but I have not gotten to that point in the actual game on my phone to have microtransactions, so I have no idea where that would be. But it is fun. It's kind of like if you remember the old game War, like that you would use with cards and you play with your friends or whatever. The concept's kind of the same, except you're using 3 cards on both sides. And your card, not kidding, if the card's been used, so like you use your card, it has little Z's next to it, so it can't be used. Like just about any card game that's out there, so you know it can't be used. They call it going for a cat nap.
Oh.
Yeah,
of course. I wouldn't expect anything less from a
the
pun
very
game.
first pun, which is funny to me. The very first pun to me is the fact that they actually use perfect for the first pun in the game, and I'm like, oh, Griff's gonna hate this.
Yeah, I don't see her downloading that one.
No, but it's a fun game. And then right next to it was why I went to the indie booth because I wanted to see if it was there. So Kid Fox Games was there, and Kid Fox Games is the people that are making Boyfriend Dungeon, which we've talked about on the show before. And I got to see gameplay for the game. I waited in line, but there was 3 or 4 people in line, and I was actually more interested in the lady that was doing her spiel. I found out later, watching the Kickstarter information, that she was actually I don't know if she's the owner or just like the CEO of the company or whatever, but that's who was talking to us, which I thought was pretty cool that the head of development was the one that was talking to us. But it's really neat. For those that don't remember from our show before, it's basically you're dating your weapons. But they now have a cat that is in the game. And the cat is for those people that don't really want to date. They just want something to pet. So you go over and you pet your cat.
Okay.
So... but it's cool too. You have an option for like the different weapons and stuff. You can, at the very beginning of the game, you can choose how you want to play. So do you want boy-boy relationships? Do you want boy-girl relationships? Or do you want non-binary? And so you can choose how you want to play the game and go through and play, which I thought was pretty freaking awesome because you're not locked into any particular orientation. You can go in and play the game pretty much how you want, which I thought was pretty cool. And but some of the characters, I'm kind of like sad. Like if I did do the boy-girl thing, I'd be sad because I wouldn't get to play as like because some of them are hilarious, just like the way that they're designed and stuff. And they might have good weapons. I don't know. But it looks like 3 different games put together. Like you have a dungeon crawler part of it, you have the dating simulator part of it, which is just weird. The people doing the artwork for it is actually the Hatful Boyfriend people.
Oh my god, they're all gonna be pigeons. Every single one of them are just
Nope.
pigeons.
Nope, they're humans. Well, maybe there might be end up with a pigeon because I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you do it?
Pigeons.
And then, but the game itself just looked. It looks so much fun. Like you could just sit down and play it. I did get to see a little bit of Spider-Man 2 while I was there. Game looks entertaining. Of course, it just came out on Friday. It looks like a lot of people are enjoying the game. That's
an understatement of the year.
Yeah, and we'll get to that a little later too. There's some news about that as well. But yeah, it was a fun trip overall. I met some new people, enjoyed it. I still have the same problem when I go to events like that, which I'm a very outgoing individual and I can go to a bar and hang out and all that stuff and introduce myself. But when you put me in a large crowd like that of a bunch of people that they all have similar interests, but I don't know them that well. I'm one of those excuse me guys. Like I walk through and I'm like, excuse me, I'm sorry, whatever, go through. And that's a lot of people that you're dealing with. And so the first day is I literally walk around adjusting to the environment and don't get as much done as I do the second day. Second day, I'm like walking right up to developers and like, hey, how are you? Tell me about your game. Oh, one of the games is called Blood something. Something blood. Something. I'll find it. I'll figure it out later.
The Barista of the Undead or whatever?
Oh, yeah. We got Necro Barista.
Necro Barista, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's one as well. Necro Barista is kind of a living comic book style of game. And Johnny and I both played that together. He was actually sitting next to me and we were both playing. We both loved it. We played, but it was too short for him to write anything on it. But it's really cool. And what got me, of course, is always a pun at the very end because you are a person serving coffee to the dead. Is our coffee is to die for. Don't shake your head at me, sir. Don't shake your head at me, sir.
No.
Because it's a pun?
Shame on you.
I'm trying to think of the name of that game. I took a picture of it. That's the reason I take pictures, folks, because I will fucking forget. That's what happens. There's another one that I want to play with us because I'm pretty sure it's got online mode and I think it's already out, which is called Head Snatchers. And that game looks amazing. Head Snatchers is...
Yes, it is out.
It's out. And it's a multiplayer game. And the best part about it is you snatch the heads off of the people you're fighting and try to throw them into a doorway that goes out into outer space or throw them down into a toilet and flush the toilet.
That sounds like a game that Red would have told me about.
It's a lot like Gang Beats.
Yeah, that's why, because Red's the one that brought that one to us.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's one that he would pick out.
Yeah, it's a very similar,
What's
very
it
similar
called? Say that name of it.
Head Snatchers.
Head Snatchers. I'm going to see if he's heard of it.
He probably has.
Probably. That does sound fun, though.
This is definitely Gang Beats, except you just pull each other's heads off instead of throwing each other out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, there's one that's a chicken. Yes.
You can actually change it. It is completely customizable. You can start with a blank face and just add different noses and all that type of stuff to your head, which I think is cool. So if you wanted to create a Cthulhu, there's probably something that's similar to that to where you could actually do it. So there's different options that are there, which I think is pretty neat. And then I don't know how many maps there are to play on, but I assume that there's a good many to play on there. But I cannot think of the other name. That's going to drive me crazy. It's Blood something, I can tell you that. But it's kind of a Western style game. The game itself is set more medieval, but the style of the game would be more Western in the fact that you just go in and maul everything. You're impervious to fire, so you can go in and you can catch everything on fire if you want to and beat people with it, which is great. So, different options like that. Pretty awesome. But I think that's all I got. That's all I can remember anyway.
I was trying to find a list of games that's not going to help me at all. It's trying to help you, but that's not.
Yeah.
There is one game that I played this week that just came out on the 5th. I told you about it, Grif. It's called Dead Frontier 2.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, I don't remember. I do now.
A long time ago, way back when, before I had access to all the games that I have now, I used to go around the internet looking for free-to-play games. It's also partially how I found League of Legends that year. It was 2009, almost 10 years ago. And I found this game called Dead Frontier. It's a survival zombie browser-based game. And it was a lot of fun, like tons of fun. You survive, you loot, you craft things, you sell things. The market inside of the game is completely run by players. Like you can choose whether to sell or buy things, but everything is from other people in the game. So it's got its own market. And then a few years back, they said they were going to do a massive overhaul update of the game and turn it from a top-down 2D kind of game, 2D 2.5D game, into a third-person, fully developed world game. So I waited for that for a while, and eventually they put it out on Steam. And they just did. It's free to play. Dead Frontier 2 on Steam. Just released it 5 days ago. 4 days ago, actually. Yep, 4 days. It's very basic. Super basic. You get your character...
Super basic.
Yeah. It's instance-based zones where you kind of... You start off on a road, and then there are buildings all along the side, and every time you enter a door, you load into the next zone. Every zone has zombies in it or a challenge for you to overcome, and there's usually like 1 or 2 things to loot. Everything is important in the game. You have health, food calories, water, hydration calories, and then your experience. Like the more you swing and whatnot, eats up more of your energy, and you have to make sure that you have energy to keep going, so you'll have to eat and find food.
So similar
like
to the
this.
Forest in that respect.
Yeah, except it's super basic. There's not much to it yet, but there's also a noise part to the game. While you're in a room, what I feel is the game starts rolling for encounters every time you make a sound. And the more times you make a sound, the more rolls you get, and eventually the room will start like kicking in zombies. But if you leave the room and come back in, it just resets and the zombie's gone. So every room is instance based, so you can kind of deal with whatever's in there, because eventually you'll come across the boss. He'll be locked in behind a door with a key. So you'll find a key, get to the boss, and then it's usually a special type of infected and whatnot. If you use your gun, it summons zombies a whole lot faster. I've got lucky and found a really good shotgun, so I usually take them out pretty fast, and then clear out the little ones with my melee weapon, and then you loot out some gear, and then you just kind of rinse and repeat kind of style of game. So it's basic, it's free. I highly recommend you check it out at least. I'll give them a shout out. So
Chicken's very much been enjoying it.
yes, I have. It's fun, and it's small MMO style, where every instanced area is available for up to 4 people. And there are PvP realms too, where you can kill each other. I died once because Grif distracted me, and then my character got killed by zombies.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I didn't do it on purpose.
But yeah, you can play with up to 4 friends too, or 3, 4 people total. So there's that. It's fun. It's free to play. I recommend it. I recommend it a lot. But remember, it is early access. It is very basic right now.
You're basic.
It is very basic.
Blood Roots is the name of the game.
Blood Roots.
Yeah. So, pretty awesome.
So, you guys want to talk about news since we're already at the half hour mark?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. What do you want to talk
Do
about?
that.
What catches your eye the most?
Well, let's go to the one that pains me.
Okay.
Which one's that one?
The Spider-Man stuff.
Oh. The heartbreak.
Oh, that one hurts my heart.
It hurts my heart so bad. Tyler Schultz approached Insomniac Games in May about asking his girlfriend in a very large way to marry him. And so in the actual Spider-Man game, there is a marquee. Then on that marquee, where you'd normally have a movie title, says, "Maddie, will you marry me?" Well, a couple of weeks before the game was actually released, they broke up. and Tyler's girlfriend left him.
After 5 years for
His brother. And so he let everyone know that was the case, and have they changed it yet, or are they just offering to change it?
They're offering to change it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're offering to change and take it out of the game. It's very sad. It's just sad. It just hurts my soul on so many levels. Poor dude.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's...
5 years to leave you for your brother.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
think of the rest of the family when on this one too, right?
Like, well, how do you decide on that? Like...
Oh, you shunned the brother who took the girl. I mean, I'm sorry. You two can live happily ever after, but there's a code between brothers.
Bros before...
No, like, blood. Like, you grew up together, and if he is going to... Like, even if he did find it attractive, there's a certain rule where it's like, I'm not going to let you break my brother's heart just so that I could be happy. I don't want to destroy him like that.
Yeah.
But apparently he had no problem with that. Whatever.
That's kind of how I feel about it, too. Like, I mean, we don't know their situation, so we don't really...
Yeah, it may be entirely different. They may hate each other, and he just did this out of spite to ruin him, so...
Maybe so.
But it definitely is one of those things where
Oh my
you're like,
God,
yeah,
Griff.
okay, you guys are family. So that is not a real... Like, people shouldn't actually think that's a real mentality. Oh, it's just crazy.
Poor guy.
But yeah, it's sad. And it's apparently we're supposed to keep an eye on the space because they are probably going to change that at some point. I just wonder if it's going to be something like Ultimate Betrayal is now playing, or, something nicer where they just swap it.
Family issues. You change it to different stuff.
Family issues.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see once they change it, when they patch it out.
I wish that they would put it like almost one of those like rotating updates where it just randomly will update and change to something else every couple of weeks.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So you constantly like now that we know it's there and we know it's gonna change if it changed frequently. Funny.
Yeah.
We're probably the only people on the planet, by the way, guys, that are not playing the Spider-Man game. I'm just saying, literally everybody and their mom is playing it.
I'm going to be playing it, but I have too many other games to play currently. So
yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing it. It looks like an incredible game, but I'm not playing it right yet.
Yeah.
So, I've got Lara
Spider-Man
Croft to deal with, and
Shadow.
I've had somebody request me. Yeah, Shadows, and I've had somebody request that I play through the other two again on stream before I get to it, and I'm very sad about this because I'm like, well, I want to play it anyway. All right, fine.
You should have started it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, right?
That's their fault for not recommending it.
In fact, I think it was Vald. It's her fault. Vald's fault.
Because I'll be playing in October, because we just got Evil Within 2, so I'll be playing Evil Within, beating it, and then playing Evil Within 2.
Yeah, that's his October spooky month.
For spooky month.
Spooky month.
Spooky month. We gotta play scary games. We gotta throw Deceit in there. We gotta throw Friday the 13th in there.
We will throw Deceit back in the mix when Baka can talk to us, because you cannot, like, playing that game with one person who can't defend themselves or throw other people under the bus in a timely fashion, that's not fun. Like, I get that there's a text chat function, but it's hard to stop.
Maybe we need to play it with the talking part of it, and maybe that will make him want to talk to us quicker. This might be a priority now. I keep getting accused and I can't defend myself.
All right, let's just go ahead and shoot Baka. He's not defending himself. All right, he's out.
Yeah, it's Baka.
Every time he's out.
It's got to be Baka. And then you just see a text come through. It says, "Nuh-uh." You know what I mean?
Yeah, good defense. I don't believe you.
Shoot the mute, everybody.
Oh, wow.
It's terrible. Don't do that. Don't listen.
I mean, statistically speaking, you're gonna get it right once or twice, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it always, if he is innocent, it always works out for the infected, because that's one less innocent they have to worry about.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
What else we got here? You guys want to talk about a gaming company limiting kids' gaming time?
Sure, why not?
It makes me
While we're
laugh.
on negative news, let's just do that one too.
Man.
It just makes me laugh.
Okay, so everybody knows the company Tencent.
And if you don't, here's what you need to know. They own a percentage
everything.
in League of Legends, and they
No,
own...
they own
Oh, did they
Riot.
own the whole thing? I thought it was
They
just a
own
percentage.
Riot.
And
Yeah,
they
they're
also
Riot's.
own PUBG.
And everything else in China.
Yeah. So, there you go. There's your setup. Keep going, chicken.
Okay, so Tencent will limit children's gaming time in China using police data.
Police!
Police data.
I guess, okay, to put context around that, though, and how that's possible, it's not that they're, like, children are offenders and they're now limiting their time. It's a registry service where everybody's registered, and using the internet, you use your registered ID. So even kids are using their specific ID registered to them, which contains their age. Like, it has their birth date, so you can age gate things appropriately that way.
Mm-hmm. Their surveillance system would, if we actually went into depth about China's surveillance system on how they monitor their civilians, it would blow your fucking mind, because they basically don't have any privacy at all.
No. Nope.
Well,
I mean,
now they're going to tell their kids how to play games because parents, I guess, aren't going to. Which Oak brought up when we were talking about this before the show. That is a conversation we've had in the recent past, which is parents need to be governing their children's time on the internet and things like that. And I guess with this, Tencent was like, okay, everybody's demonizing us because their kids are playing too much. If they're not going to fix the problem, we'll fix it for them. 2 hours.
See, this was my argument back then about saying that Fortnite and Epic Games need to do something to make it so that kids don't play games as much. You know what? Tencent's like, all right, we'll do it. We'll just make sure that your kids can't play as much. So my point proven.
And there's different ages. If you're under 12, it's 1 hour a day. If you're between 12 or 13, I think 13 and 18.
13 to 18.
13 to 18, it's 2 hours a day. 2 hours. That's it. You get to play 2 hours a day at max. The rest of that time should be spent doing meaningful, wholesome life things. Like
in other news,
chores.
Chicken is moving to China, so his kids can be limited by a
Yeah,
gaming
well,
company on what it
I
is
don't
they
need a
play the
gaming
games.
company. I'll limit. I have a fucking password thing. I know how my router works. All right, this.
Yeah, but
item only
that
gets
way,
2
all
hours.
of the other whatever billion people that live in your local area, you don't have to worry about either because they'll be actually covered.
Yeah, there'll be more than just one kid outside playing at the park.
because their 2 hours are up.
Oh, my 2 hours up. Go outside and play and shut up.
Of course, it might not be 900 degrees like it is here either.
Very true.
I just think that's hilarious. And they're specifically restricting for one game right now, it looks like, as Honor of Kings, or Arena of Valor, as it's known in the West. That's the one, it's a MOBA, so they're going to limit that. I wonder if if this is just a test. They're going to start
I think
limiting
it's
that to
just
see
a
how
test.
it works, and then they'll limit everything.
Probably.
So this is a lesson. Parents, if you have children and everybody's complaining that you're letting your children play too much, you might want to start regulating that before the government decides they have to do it. Well, in that case,
Yeah.
not the government, it's the developers. Because they're going to limit it more strictly than you would.
Tencent is like hand in hand with the government.
No, that's
like,
true. If they're
They
using
are the
police data,
biggest
then yeah.
corporation in China. So, I mean, they're just as much in power as everybody else. So, I mean, they make billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars a year. So, they've got enough money to run their own country.
All right, what else we got? I'm trying to get through this kind of quickly because I know Chicken's got a game that's coming up that he wants to watch. So
Finally, after 21 years, it has been proven by the developers themselves that
official.
if you played as Oddjob, you were cheating in GoldenEye 007.
I never played him, by the way. I didn't need the handicap.
I never played him. I just didn't
never
like
played
him.
that game, so I didn't.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I'm
we'll
sorry
forgive you.
for you.
Oh.
Such a fun game. What was that?
That was her. Her mic. I don't know. It's like, oh,
What did
whoa.
We got a
did you-
whistle. We got a whistle on our
Oh.
end.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
weird. It was like somebody hitting different keys and making whatever.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you'll hear it later.
Yeah.
It's at 45 minutes.
Watch,
Actually,
when your ears start bleeding, you'll know
I
what it was we
probably
heard.
won't because I have my audio recorded separately, so I probably won't hear what you just heard if it's internet related.
Oh, I guess that's true.
That's true.
You don't
Sorry.
know. Whatever. But yeah. 21 years. Oddjob is cheating. So Don't use him anymore.
They left him
If
in
you're
because
still
it was
playing.
fun,
21 years.
but, you know. Somebody is still playing that game, okay? Somewhere.
I'm sure. My favorite was just putting the little mines everywhere. People go through and blow up.
That top comment. It's sad to think that the majority of younger gamers will never get to experience crowding around a 16-inch Panasonic TV, playing GoldenEye, 4-way split screen until 3 a.m., DK mode, throwing knives only on stack, with no one calling you a filthy noob at the close of play, different times. Oh, those days, sitting around that TV, pushing each other, trying to fucking win and mess each other up.
Oh, couch games were so much fun. And I'm glad that some people are trying to bring those back a little bit.
Yes.
You know, because I mean, you had friends that would come over to your house and you would play games, and you owned games your friends might not have owned, so you'd go over to their house and play games, and it just gave you an excuse to go visit each other, right?
Yep. Back in the early days of the internet socialization, where you actually had to go somewhere to play something with somebody.
The internet. We didn't even have the internet when I was growing up.
Way back when.
Back in the day, yo.
Back in my day, we didn't even have the internets.
It was just a dream.
Yep. I was out of high school with my first email.
Oh my god. Dating yourself now.
I'm proud of my age. I've aged well.
Writing his age
By
in
shaving
Roman
my head.
numerals.
In other news, chicken dies.
In about 85 years, you know.
It depends. You and Odessica can.
Hey, Odessa's the cleric lady. I'll be fine. She's got healings.
Oh my god. What else do we want to talk about? You guys are awful.
Oh, God.
How about one that you would probably like, Chicken, or that you were excited enough about to tell me about it the second I woke up the other day, which was THQ Nordic bought Kingdoms of MLR.
My hero company. They are my heroes. Whenever they release something, I will buy it. I need to just go to their Steam page and just buy all of their games. They had to buy the Kingdoms of MLR IP from 38 companies. When they sold off that IP, it just basically got ripped to shreds and sent off to all these different companies.
And how does that work? Like, you think about this for a minute. It's okay. We'll use a popular game that we all know, right? So we'll say something like Halo. This is, to me, this is like going, all right, yeah, you can buy Master Chief, but we're selling Cortana to them.
Yep.
And then you get the grunts, you get the elites, you get the brutes.
Yeah, I mean, they've
That's
just
pretty
sold
much
off all the
exactly
assets.
what happened. Yeah, all the assets got separated and sold off to different bidders.
What about the giant Halos themselves? Well, they're owned by these other people, so good luck. You know, it's like...
And imagine how much effort that would take to actually go to all of these different companies to buy up all of these assets again so that you own the whole thing.
But I want to know what asshole in the first place went, I just want that. You know what I mean? Like, to start this whole thing, the first guy, the first of the 38 that walked in and go, I really like, well, we'll use the picture that's up here on the thing. I really like that golden griffin thing that they've got right there. Can I get that? Sure, that's going to cost you this amount of money. Okay, got it. You know? That's crazy to me. 38 different companies. But good for them. THQ Nordic's awesome. And they set up their, I love this too. They set their stuff at PAX West better than anybody else does, because it feels like a freeform walk-in where everybody else has all these little, like, I don't know, barriers set up so you can guide you through or whatever. You just stand in line and stand behind somebody, and when they get done, you walk up to them, which is awesome. It's so quick.
Okay, I think I read that wrong, so I'm going to correct myself. So 38 Studios is its own studio.
Oh,
then the
okay.
comment that I read beforehand said that then I read that comment wrong, or that person who wrote that comment was wrong, because I read the comment earlier after reading the article, said I can't believe they bought the IP from 38 different studios. So that's where my head was like, damn, 38 different studios, but no, 38 Studios is its own company. So
Okay, so
they
not that
bought
bad.
all the assets. Yes.
Okay, so it didn't take them quite that long.
No, not that long.
But we still giving them props for buying this back.
Yes, and they have bought the rights to the Copernicus MMO, which I hope I pronounced that right. Which is supposed to be the Kingdoms of MLR MMO that they were going to develop.
Copernicus.
That's why I had no idea what it was.
Yep. And everybody, all the things that I heard coming from that time when they were working on that said that it was a really incredible game, but unfortunately it never got made or finished, I should say. So now THQ owns it. Yeah, they are one for acquiring cut loose IPs and trademarks. They own Dead Island, Saints Row, Time Splitters, Homefront, and Metro 2033. Now Kingdoms of MLR. They're just absorbing all of these IPs that were just let go. And I think it's very interesting that we have been watching these guys since the inception of them. Like when they bought their first game from THQ. And then from THQ. And then they bought THQ's name and turned it into their own.
Yeah.
Well, see, and I've been a Nordic fan for a while for different games because they have other games that were out there. They were just like little point and click style games. So it didn't make sense when they bought the Darksider stuff because I was like,
that's not point and click.
what
are you doing?
That doesn't go anywhere that they normally do. And then they bought it and it's like, wow. It's fantastic.
Well,
fantastic. The Olympic, the IOC, which is the Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Committee. People have been lobbying for esports to eventually come into the Olympics, and their comment to it is violence has no place in the Olympics. We can't promote violence, and most games nowadays that are esports games are violent, I guess. I mean, if you think about it, you're shooting things. A lot of
them are shooters, and then
you're shooting things, so that makes sense. So does that mean Splatoon might be the only one with a chance in the esports community?
I feel torn on that because on the one side, okay, I kind of sort of get it. You don't want to promote violence. But on the other side of it, we also have things like fencing and boxing where you're punching the shit out of someone and trying to stab them, which is okay.
And archery, yeah.
Generally, archery, though, they're aiming at targets. They're not aiming at other people.
That is true.
Okay, this article and the comment section pretty much wrapped itself up in a nice little bow because the article has its argument about the combat and weapon because there's violence in certain ones. Martial arts, you're beating up other people, so there is violence already in the Olympics. So I mean, you can make that argument, but the comment that is down here brings up about what the Olympics actually is. It's about physicality. It's about the actual human aspect of these sports, the physicality in whatever the sport is. Like there's no chess or darts or anything like that that's more dexterous in style like games. Like it's all about the physical side of these sports, which I can see. All right, the Olympics is more about the physicality of competing with other people rather than the mental side of competing with people.
The only problem is the person that wrote it didn't do their research. Chess was actually an exhibition sport in 2000 Summer Olympics game in Sydney. And then
sport.
Hold on, let me finish. And has been submitted for 2020 games for Tokyo. Chess is recognized as a sport by the International Olympic Committee, where esports is not.
Yet. And that's the thing. Like if chess gets in, then that opens the door. Because it was an exhibition event, so technically it wasn't fully integrated. If it does, then yes, it will open up the door. But until that door is opened, that's the argument. To open that door,
but not based on their reasoning behind it.
Their reasoning behind it.
The reasoning behind it is because you're using violent games, which I agree with. I mean, you're shooting games. That's fine. If you can, and here's the thing: if you allow something like Overwatch, which to me it's violent, yes, because you're shooting things, but it's not. It's cartoony and things like that. I don't really see that. Or if you allow a MOBA style game, a true MOBA style game where you're over top. You've got magic and a lot of fantasy stuff that's involved with that. Basically, what ends up happening is if you do a first-person shooter, now you're going to have all your Call of Duty fans that are going to come in and say, well, why aren't we included in this too? Maybe if you do include, you put a stipulation that it has to be below a certain rating. So
it has to be fictional.
Yeah,
right.
Teen rating, something like that is high will allow that to go. So that way it meets the criteria somewhere else. and to do it that way. Where I feel like I'm fine with chess being in the Olympics. I think it's fine because it's a mental, physical type thing because you're sitting there trying to do things. I think speed chess would be more fun.
Yeah,
Like
watching people fucking
yeah, boop, 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 boop. All right, next game. Boop, boop, boop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
but you're not going to see Scrabble. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we don't see Scrabble. And they just had League of Legends in the Asian esports, like their Olympics or
Right.
whatever, and they just had League of Legends in that too. But to be fair, the Asian culture, I know, backwards yet forwards in some respects. They are more open to that type of stuff, and I think
it's culturally part of their. I mean, it's actually part of their culture.
Yeah,
where it's not necessarily part of a culture outside of that, other than from a recreational standpoint. Like they're a lot of times a job. Here, you do what?
Yeah, unfortunately, still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it all the time. I was in a meeting today that was actually, it wasn't on Skype, it was on another format, but it was similar to that, and they saw the green screen behind me. And the first thing they said was, what do you use that for? And I was like, to stream games, because I have people that watch me and all that. And I was like, I've got friends that do the same thing, that type of deal. And they're like, people watch you do that? And I was like, yeah. People watch me
Welcome
do
to 2018.
Yeah.
The world's a whole lot different.
Yeah.
Speaking of the esports thing, I'll throw this out there. Blizzard's Overwatch League, because Blizzard is the biggest forefront. I know Riot has had their League of Legends things, but Blizzard is pushing so hard at the forefront to make esports such a common thing. They are adding 8 more teams to the League of Legends
Overwatch League.
To the Overwatch League. That means $10 million for each one of those teams to get into it. That is a lot of teams. That is a lot of money.
Prize pool.
And that is pushing esports so heavy. And I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it will be Blizzard, because I don't know, Riot just seems to have stumbled pretty bad this year.
They've got other issues they need to work on too, though. Riot does.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Right.
For sure.
They need to work on the home front.
Yeah, especially
because
since
they're still going to make money. People are still going to watch their stuff. They might not be the same numbers, but they'll get back to where they need to. But they need to work on their home front first.
Well, the problem is they're not making as much money. That's why they've had to tone down a lot of their events and whatnot, because they're not making as much money off of their esports as they thought they would. And along with this whole sexism thing on the back front of it, it's like, oh god, you guys are seriously shooting yourself in the foot, and both of them.
Do you all remember the conversation we had? It got heated a little bit, but the conversation we had about the Chinese player, I think it's a Chinese player, that ended up, I think it was the Overwatch team. She ended up on an Overwatch team or something like that. She ended up being a professional. And we talked about then that I said that because of the way cultural environments work, that it would almost be better in some ways to create a women's league. And if you're good enough, and challenge them back and forth and create that was on there. If Riot had been on the forefront of something like that, their numbers would have.
But seeing what's happening right now, they wouldn't have done it because they were sexist. 2, they would have been called further sexist because you're still delineating, you're still dividing.
Yeah, and to be fair, there have been female teams, like full female teams, that have tried to pop up, but this is not to be mean, but unfortunately they are just nowhere near good enough. Like, you have silver and gold who are trying to become professional, where you need to be challenger and really fucking good. I don't care if you're man, woman, baby, old man. If you get up to challenger,
see a baby play on pro level.
Well,
no, you don't. There's a 13-year-old Fortnite player that could probably whoop all of our asses at one time. So you don't want to get beat by a baby. Let me tell you.
Well, no, I meant like toddlers.
But
you don't want to get beat by a toddler either. You'll feel extra bad.
But here's the thing. Like, to go back to what you were saying, you could create a women's league that you turn around and you go, you must be gold or higher, or whatever your rankings are on the thing. But you must be a certain level in order to be able to qualify for that. And then you try to coach them up to a particular point, and you do special events to where you are. Separation of men and women in sports is not unusual. It's just not. And if women aren't getting the respect they need inside of a sport, women need to create it. There needs to be a women's sport created equivalent to it, and then you turn around and you do face the best of the best with some of the other teams, to where you get to, you prove you're just as good as the men are, because that's how change happens. If you just sit there and go, well, they're not allowing the women into it, let's change that pattern and make it to where we have some women to watch, because there's so many women gamers that are out there. And one of the I retweeted a tweet the other day that the lady was like, I'm so tired of this mentality. There was actually some asshat that made the comment that he's tired of all this brand new nerd culture from women, that women have never been nerds, and now all of a sudden it's cool to be a nerd, and da-da-da-da-da, and women don't even play games. Why is this a thing? And I'm like, first of all, this guy's a moron, doesn't understand what he's talking about. Most of the women that I was looking at PAX were fantastic.
Secondly, hello, would you like to play some Overwatch with me?
Oh, yeah, she'll kick your fucking ass. She'll kick anybody's ass.
I don't know about that.
If I hand you a controller, she kicks your ass.
A controller?
If I hand you a controller, she kicks your ass. On equal playing field.
You want to bet on it? You want to bet on it? I'm always down for a challenge. We'll see what our skill levels are.
I would like to see this. I would like to see this.
She might beat me, fair enough.
I think she would.
But I bet I could beat her on every single hero with mouse and keyboard.
Oh, I bet you could, because I'm garbage with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, no. You could play with your controller.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. but you're also proficient at that, and she's proficient
at everything.
At control. So you're going to be willing to take that controller with the controller?
Mm-hmm.
That challenge with the controller?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're going to get your ass kicked by her. You know that, right?
Oh, I love your confidence.
Regardless, back to the original topic at hand.
Yeah. But I think there's some things in culture have to change, but they need to change in a way that makes sense. I mean, it really does. And I don't know. Women Riot it's done, and in a lot of ways, and Overwatch is the new kid on the block that's moving it up. If you're going to bring 8 teams in, why aren't women being explored for that particular situation?
Well,
because there just aren't enough of them.
Zarya player. But I mean, what Chicken said is correct in relationship to the not Overwatch, the League of Legends thing, is that they did try to introduce female teams, but the skill level wasn't good enough. You shouldn't get a pass just because you're a girl, so you get to play on the pro girls team, but the pro girls team compared to the pro boys team is just garbage. Like they wouldn't be able to compete in the same thing. I think if you want to be pro, especially with something like esports that doesn't have to be gendered the way like football or something might.
I completely agree with that.
If you're gonna be good on across the board. Don't be good for a girl, because then you still segregate yourself out. You're good for a girl. That's why you throw like a girl. Well, okay, yeah, but if she's still throwing like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, she's still being gendered as you're good for a girl. You're good on the girl teams. You can't play with the dudes. You can't play on the real teams, because that's how to be looked at is the men's teams are the real teams, the girls' teams are the girl teams.
And that's why I like esports, is because if a female wants to be good, she can be good. She, just get good. I mean,
the thing that needs to change about it is not so much that companies limit women from being in it. It's that the teams full of men are the ones that limit women. Like the girl Zarya player that was going to get picked up by one team, and they didn't pick her up because the coaches felt like she wouldn't fit in the team because it would be distracting that she was a female on the team.
Right.
You need to change the players' mentalities, not necessarily start creating leagues to accommodate just girls.
And that's a problem with the immaturity.
The boys need to grow up.
I guess the reason I look at it different is because I can turn around and how many's on an Overwatch team normally? Like full?
There's six cores, and then you have so many subs that you can have.
So 10 total, or do you have like?
I can't remember how many on a roster you can have.
So theoretically, let's say you created 4 team of women, all right, and they were 8, and they're good players. I'm talking like, let's take one of your top teams from Overwatch, and whoever their weakest link is, that's where these women are at playing. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So they're not playing as the top, like they would be the ones sitting on the bench as a reserve, not necessarily the ones that are starting in the starting 6. Okay? So, but they're still quality players. They're good players. They're not just playing because they're girls. They're just playing at that particular level. Now they have an opportunity to increase in level. But they can't get the repetition to play at a professional level because they're not getting the opportunity to play with the men. But if you create a women's league and they're all playing at that same level, now they have an opportunity to play with each other, and you've got 32 girls, or 32 women, 32 women that now all have a job being a professional to put in the time to do what they need to, where before they wouldn't even have that opportunity. So they're getting paid to still be professional.
So you're letting them play in the girls' league because they're not good enough to be on the mixed teams because they're the weakest link. But if you put all the weak links together, they can play in their own weak link team.
No, what I'm saying is they are good enough to be on that team. They are not good, but the men will not allow them in there. They need somewhere to get exposure, and if you don't give them the exposure, they can never be in part of those teams because the mentality can't change because it's always been a boys' league.
Yes, and that is the problem with Riot, and that is, personally, that's a problem with professional female gamers, too, is there's not enough of them to break that barrier. Like, you get one or two to kind of hit that wall, but you need several that are going to be good to just kind of bust through and be like, hey, we have several great female players in the Masters League.
Well, and I would agree that, and my thing is this is because you don't have that many women that are playing at that level, all right? Because if they were, then we wouldn't be just talking about one person that was being discriminated against getting in there. We would be talking about more of them.
She's in there now, by the way. She is a professional Overwatch
yeah, because
player.
she's fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's fucking incredible on her Zarya.
That's the one they thought cheated, right?
Yeah.
There's no way she's playing that good. Yeah.
Exactly. She's the one that finally, like, punched her hand through the wall and was like, hey, I am actually fucking good at this game. I will smack the shit out of anybody who thinks otherwise. And she sure as hell did. And we just need more of those women to start an army with her to start the change.
But I will tell you,
just aren't enough.
As a woman, I will tell you another factor that plays into that is that you don't want to put yourself out there in that public scenario because, one, you do get called a cheater because girls are obviously not that good. And two, you don't want to do it because of all of the sexist bullshit that comes along with it. So it's like, yeah, I'm good at this game, but I don't want to be on the pro circuit because I don't want to deal with 60 billion guys looking at me every week.
But look at her. She punched the first hole in the
wall. I'm not saying that is a good mentality to have. I'm just saying the mentality across the board needs to change because some women who would be good enough to be pro don't want to deal with all the immature little boys that are the pros.
Well, right. I mean, that's
a mentality
everyone's got
to
those, unfortunately, the immature boys are all playing with each other.
Yeah.
So they continue to get better, and it's harder for anybody else to get into.
Yeah.
Where if you had that opportunity to have, even if they're all at the same level, we'll say all things equal, all the women's teams and all the men teams are exactly the same equal, you still have a hard time of getting those women teams to play with the men because of the men's mentality.
Yes,
so
and that's
you
growing up.
And that's where you create the women's team, give them a job opportunity to play against each other so they continue to get better, they hone their skills, they get where they need to, and then you turn around and go, guys, shut the fuck up. If you really want to see how good you are, come play us.
Or you just completely remove the women's league team and then just fucking make a full women's team and then you play with the boys. You beat the shit out of them.
Well, and you make sure that the people that are in charge that are over your specific esport have rules in place that are like, okay, look, no harassment. If you're talking trash to this girl because she's a girl from the other team.
Most companies have zero tolerance.
So it's a mentality that needs to shift.
Yes, which I really don't. My thing is, if you're professional, why the hell are you speaking, talking trash in the first place?
There's not a whole lot. I mean, there's some showy trash talk in some cases, but a lot of it's lighthearted, smack talk before games and things. But yeah, if there became like
I would be almost friendly with these people. We're all making money playing fucking video games. I would almost be like, oh, I see what you did there.
That's a competitive mentality where the only thing that matters is that you are better than the rest of them. It does not matter. You are better. And you want to make sure that the team on the other side knows that you're better and they don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, but the problem is if everybody thinks they're better than the other person, nobody's willing to learn.
No, everybody's willing to learn. Oh, I lost. Well, shit, why did we lose?
Yep.
I thought we were better than them. Well, this is where our communication broke up. This is where our strategy broke up.
That's why you go and watch your replays and everything, just like football,
that's why you have coaches and
analysts
else. And things like that who come in and be like, you guys did all of this wrong. You had the right mentality, but you sure as hell didn't show it.
Like, fair enough.
Okay.
You had a very bad day.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Some players do have bad days, and that really sucks.
What you guys want to talk about any of the other stuff really quickly so that we can wrap this up? Because I knew it was going to be a longer show, but we're already at an hour and 10. I don't want it to be.
Basically, Nintendo has said that games like Splatoon 2 and things like that are not going to be part of their cloud save, which makes sense. Part of the reason why they want to do that is to make sure that there is no transferring of stuff that will give somebody an unfair advantage in multiplayer games, as well as something like Pokemon, that if you got a legendary, being able to transfer that over and having two different people with the same thing going on. Yep. So that one was easy.
Civ 6 is going to the Switch, which we might pick up. I don't know. Maybe I would be into Civ if I could like lay around and watch TV while I play it. I don't know. Civ Rev is where my heart's at because it's faster
would definitely
and
be
cute.
I would definitely be interested to see if you pick that up or not.
Maybe.
You can try it. You can play it on mine to see if you like it.
Civ 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't know if it was something that I might enjoy more if I could passively play it on the Switch. Like I said, laying in bed watching TV and be like, okay, it's my turn. Okay, it's going to be 60 turns later before I do anything else, you know?
60 turns before you do another turn?
60 hours. I'll watch 3 episodes of Black and then it'll be another of my turns.
That's the reason I play against the computer a lot of times, because I can just hit the little skip button and it's really quick. Mm-hmm. I don't have to wait on anybody.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Nintendo continues to go through and ban everything that's Nintendo that other people are using.
Yes.
One of which is a 11-year-old tool that's used to build Pokemon fan games. That's the latest one that they're doing. I get them protecting the IP, but they really need to make sure. It would be cool though if they did have Pokemon Builder coming out like they did Mario Builder, but
yes.
But I'm not really sure. It's just they need to make sure that if you're taking all this away from us, these older games and all that stuff, that you're giving them back to us in some way. Even if I got to pay $5-6 to play some Mario game or something again, that's cool, but I need to have that opportunity. And we need to figure out a way to keep me from having to buy the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again, too.
Well, it's... I don't know. With that, it's weird because with the Mario Maker, it's like a simple level designer. Where with the Pokemon thing, it's like a full game development kind of style. So I understand what they're doing. It hurts me that they're doing it, and I don't like it. But it is what it is. That's a company protecting their assets, protecting their name. So be it. I'll still be able to find it on the internet. That's how the internet works.
The internets.
Yes.
You got the internets. That's good. If somebody's got it, you'll be able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like Blizzard disabled all of their paid loot boxes from Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm in Belgium. That's, if y'all remember, there was an entire law. They felt that they were breaking the law by having them on there, and went through a whole court case and all that shit with it. So, because it's considered gambling.
Yeah, and I love how 2K was like, make sure to write your government officials about how unfair this is for you to not be able to give us money.
Yeah.
That was so dumb to me.
What?
So
you
dumb.
want us to complain to them because they won't let us gamble on your game? No. Piss off.
Seriously, asshole.
You tell me now. Piss the fuck off. That's funny as shit. Do y'all want to talk about the belt?
Oh no, the belt, just basically, for those of you that play World of Warcraft, there's a belt called the Waste of Time, and it is a pun name, but it's also serious because it is a huge waste of time to get. It is just a cosmetic belt. It will take forever. You have to go all over the world, including Outlands and Northern and all that other stuff.
It's
everywhere.
bragging rights.
Yeah.
The whole thing's bragging rights.
Basically,
and the fact that
no,
you have
what
more
it
time.
is I have more free time than you, and more will to do all of this stupid stuff, so...
it's
very
bragging rights of
time-consuming.
how much time I have in my life to play WoW. Anything else we want to cover?
I'm doing Let's Play stuff. You should all go watch it. I started Lost on Mars and Far Cry 5, which is Far Cry 5 DLC. If you're not going to pick it up on sale, like wait for a Steam sale and it's like $5, don't bother with that season pass. Okay, I played it because I picked it up because it was requested, but from what I've played so far, the Lost on Mars one's the only one I've done so far, so I don't know, maybe my opinion will change, but I don't anticipate that. It's just somebody made a map, and you get to go on the map and play and basically go through the map and turn on all of the towers. So something that you didn't have to do in the main game because everybody complained about it and they took it out of the main game. They put it in for the DLC, turn on all the towers, pick up all of the find items, and pick up all the other find items. There's 2 sets of find items, and that's it. That's the whole DLC. The storyline's kind of cute-ish, but some of the dialogue gets grating, so if you are thinking about it and on the fence about it, wait for it to go on sale, like serious sale. Don't spend full price on it. It's garbage.
Or just watch Grif play it.
Yeah, or you can watch me play it. It's going up alongside my my Uncharted Let's Plays, which I'm also doing. I'm into Uncharted 3 now, so.
Which is free. You don't even have to hit the subscribe button, but we want you to.
Yeah. Hit the subscribe button.
That's still free.
Hit the like button. If you want to know when these things go up, like I say on my videos, hit the little bell on YouTube. And maybe YouTube will tell you when they go up. Maybe they won't. YouTube's kind of weird like that sometimes.
Yours is the only one that I get the
notifications for?
Yeah.
I have 2 channels that I'm following, like the Philip DeFranco channel and one of the BTS channels, the main BTS channel.
Oh, Philip's Friday one will pop up.
I don't get notifications for either of them, and I have the bell clicked. But I will get notifications for things I'm not following. Like, we would think that you would like to watch
YouTube.
This.
Come on.
Well,
people,
the whole reason I clicked the bell is so that I get the notifications, and I'm not getting the notifications.
Too funny.
So, yeah, so watch us on Twitter, and I always post on my Twitter when I upload a new Let's Play, and on the Infinite Respawn Twitter when we upload new podcasts or content, so.
We do appreciate each and every week everyone that hangs out with us here at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oak Tree. You can check out Grif.
At Grif Slineham.
Check out Baka. Oh, wait, he ain't here. Check out Chicken.
What?
I had Elite Chicken 313.
I'm just, fuck it, throwing it. No. I had it in there so I could say Baka's after you said yours, and it was just in my head.
And Baka? Oh, wait, he's not here.
Yeah, so, and Baka, hopefully he'll be back soon when he's actually able to talk to us in some way or other way. Oh, we make him sign the entire time. We'll just have him on and sign. It'll be for the video people only. You can check him out at Baka Pickle. Also, making sure that you go to Grif's YouTube channel she just mentioned. Go on there and watch the awesome videos she has, including Uncharted series. She's finished 1 and 2 and starting 3.
Yes,
correct?
I am on 3, so
yes.
We're working our way through that.
Yep, so she's on 3 currently, so as always, she's fun to watch because she likes to die, and she has a good laugh.
Man, let me tell you, the freaking AI in this one see through walls. They're like, be stealthy, be quiet. And then I'm not even moving, and one of them's like, oh, what's that? And they all know. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
How do you see through a rock?
Either that or I think sometimes they see the other NPCs that are with me. But it's like, I can't control those people. I don't know. That's not fair. They handicap me.
Also, make sure that you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. What you got this week, bro?
WoW and Overwatch.
Probably.
Oh, it's my birthday. It's my birthday Thursday, by the way, people.
So are you streaming on your birthday, or are you going to take your day off on that?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably, because I'll be off Friday and Saturday, too. So might as well stream on Thursday.
God.
Huh.
Must
It's a
be
whole
nice.
party.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it is nice, I'll tell you.
Anyway.
Also, make sure you go to mixer.com/MDB Oak Tree, where I stream as well, and currently in the middle of Shenmue, which I forgot to mention on the show, but yeah, I'm playing Shenmue as well. I'm enjoying the hell out of that.
Plug that in real quick.
Yeah, there you go.
We all get our plugs in at the end. Come on.
Hell yeah, I gotta plug that in real quick. Also, we're sponsored by nobody. If you are interested in sponsoring the Infinite Respawn podcast, please hit us up on Twitter with a DM.
Let us know.
We take all forms of payment. Cheese,
No.
money.
Don't listen
No, I
to
don't
him.
need cheese.
Don't listen to him. Well, I'll talk to you about payment information. Let's just get out of here and do this.
For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
See ya.
Baka's not here.
Bye. Bye. That's Baka. Bye.
It's not here.
Please hang up and try again.